Hi all, this is Dr. J at 11, broadcasting live from Long Island, New York. I was just turning my head to look at the time. It's not quite 11, so again, my name is a lie, but it's close. Originally, I thought about broadcasting every morning at 11 a.m., and that's why I took the name Dr. J at 11. Somehow that just never really happened. So rather than change it, I just left it. Dr. J at 11, broadcasts at 11 sometimes, other times at 12, other times at 1, other times at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get the idea? Might be AM, might be PM. I've yet to broadcast in the early AM hours, but I might do it on a restless evening. You never know when Dr. J at 11 is going to come to you live, stream live from Long Island, New York, where today was a beautiful day, October 21st on a Sunday. Well, it was a little windy. It was a little nippy, but it was sunny. It was nice. It was pleasure to be outside, which I was a little bit, not as much as I would have liked. I kind of like being out indoors. I guess I should move to Florida instead of staying in Long Island, New York. But I might take a little vacation in Florida or one of the islands. In any event, for now, it's beautiful fall. I really shouldn't complain about the weather. It's only going to get worse, so I won't. Um, Before I start with my look ahead at the markets and my spec of the day or the week, perhaps, Paratec. I'm actually charting Paratec and talking about Paratec Pharmaceuticals at the bequest of Nicole, who asked me to do so in my Friday vlog. This one's for you, Nicole. Shout out to Nicole. So Paratec is a very interesting little small cap biotechnology company that has just gained FDA approval for a couple of antibiotics in the tetracycline class. Before I get into details as to the Dow Jones Industrial Average and Paratec, let me remind you to do your own due diligence, that my opinions are my own and do not constitute investment advice. Let me also remind you to subscribe to this channel so you will always have access to Dr. J at 11 at any hour of the day that Dr. J decides to broadcast. As I kind of surprise people broadcasting on a Sunday evening. I even surprised myself. So let's see what the charts say. I'm going to share screen. Um, so this takes a couple of seconds. I just want to look at the charts with you and keep talking about my feelings. My main feeling with respect to the markets is that we're going to have a further downside on the correction. In other words, the correction is not over. But I do think it's just a correction. That's the good news. So let me go to the Dow while it's loading. That I posted a CNB in my playlist, 1019. That playlist, you'll see my vlog and the CNBC vlog. I thought it was worthwhile because the guest on Fast Money had very much the same opinion as me as to the nature of this correction, that it isn't yet over. So this is a Dow. My scenario number one, really, and that it goes up before correction at about 24,000. The same as the diagram I drew on Friday, my end of week vlog. So there's really nothing terribly different about my feelings, except I do think that the Dow will open negative and maybe stay negative tomorrow. I do feel that way because the last 15 days we saw a big give back in the Dow averages. And usually when it closes on a sour note like that on a Friday, there's some continuation. I'm not sure how the Dow will ultimately close, but I kind of have a feeling it'll continue to the downside at least 15, 20 minutes of the morning. That doesn't say much considering the Dow's, what is it, 6.5 hours of trading, something like that. I think that's right. So what happens in the first 15 minutes doesn't necessarily reflect the close. Okay, so regardless of what happens tomorrow, that we close up, we get stopped by resistance here at the 50-day moving average. So I think we get stopped right about, let's say 26,000. Then we go down 2,000 points, 24,000, and then zip up. So I think the descent will be greater in time, shorter in time rather than the ascent back up. But I get there. I have now mid-November. I'm thinking it could be even quicker that we complete the correction. So the correction should go for another 2-3 weeks, in Dr. J's opinion. And there's no need to look at the charts for the NASDAQ and S&P. They're basically the same, in my mind. Of course, another scenario is that we've made our highs and we just simply head down to this 24,000 level beginning tomorrow and end the correction by the end of the week, and then start going up by the time the midterm elections take place. I do think the midterm elections will have influenced the market in some manner. That doesn't say too much because I'm being vague, but sometimes it's better to be vague. I do think, again, the geopolitical event, not geopolitical, the midterm elections, they're not geo, they're local to the United States, will affect the markets. If the Republicans hold sway, keep the House, I think there'll be more back than if the Democrats should take the House. But I do think regardless, we do get that bull. And I do think we will take out the old highs. So while I think there will be an effect due to the mid, its effect will be temporary, short-lived, and not terribly meaningful in the long term with respect to the domestic markets. Okay, let's look at Paratec. Paratec is an exciting little biotech. I think its market cap is around 300 million, something like that. I know it's low, and it's had a tremendous steep decline over the last 5 years. Let's take a look at the weekly before we look at the daily. 1 week. Okay, there's the weekly, and you notice the adherence to this trend line down, the adherence to this trend line down. Seems like a stock that is very adherent to its trend line. Now, in the last 9 months, it's traded between these two horizontal trend lines, 934 to 1221. And I think it's going to continue to trade in there for some time more. We've had 9 months of this. I think we'll have another 3 months of it before it breaks out to the upside, probably early 19, with the launch of its newly approved drugs antibiotics for community pneumonia and another one for acne. Both could be very, very big sellers. They're hiring to their sales force to get it in place. I think we're going to see a nice spurt come the first quarter of 2019. I think at this point, it's gone up since early October based on the approval. It's probably not going to until we actually launch. There is an investors conference on Tuesday, but I don't expect too much out of that. I do think it's a buy here. I think the downside is, I think we're at the bottom. I don't think we go much lower. So even if you're in it for a trade between 934 and 1221, I think in the next 3 months, you could get 2 or 3 hits of these 2 horizontal trend lines. So I think this 9-month pattern continues for another 3 months. So that's my feeling. I could be wrong. I mean, tomorrow the investors conference could be a biggie and something big announced. They're causing it to take off, and I hope that's the case. Or you never know. There could be a buyout sometime before the end of the year. I don't think that'll happen, but you never know. It could. And if there is a buyout, let's say it's trading at the upper end around 12, and it gets bought for double that, 25 to 30, something like that. That would please a lot of, not the investors that bought up here at 40. So that's my feeling on Paratec, PRTK. Basically, I like this stock. I think it's an interesting play. I think they have a very much needed antibiotic. If I don't remember the name, it's in the tetracycline family for community pneumonia. So this is Dr. J at 11 saying good evening from Long Island, New York. Hope to see you mañana. Ciao.